Hi everyone, my name is Inama Saptawati, and today I'll be sharing my midterm project for English syntax. In this project, I explore the basic concept of syntax using sentences from the story of Sleeping Beauty. Well, look at what syntax is, its key properties, how we analyze sentences, and what I learned from this experience. Let's get started. What is syntax? Syntax is the branch of linguistics that studies how words are organized and structured to form meaningful phrases, clauses, and sentences. It's like a set of invisible rules we all follow without realizing it. Syntax isn't just about word order, it's about how different elements work together to create meaning. And the next is the properties of syntax. There are three important properties of syntax that I focus on: hierarchy, recursion, and structure dependence. First, hierarchy. Hierarchy means that language isn't just a line of words, it's structured in layers. Words form phrases form clauses, and clauses form sentences. For example, in The Princess Touched the Spindle, we have a noun phrase, the princess, and a verb phrase is touch the spindle, working together to form a complete sentence. The second is recursion. Recursion allows us to embed phrases inside other phrases. This is why we can make sentences longer and more complex, like she believes that he knows that the teacher said the test is tomorrow. And the third is structure dependence. Structure dependence means that the rules of language rely on structure, not just order. For example, the boy is singing becomes is the boy singing by moving the auxiliary verb, but only from the main clause, not randomly. And the next is the lexical and grammatical categories. I analyzed the lexical and grammatical categories of words in a sample sentence. The princess touched the spindle and fell asleep. Here, the is a determiner. Princess and spindle are nouns. Touched and fell are verbs, and is a conjunction, unless it's asleep is an adjective. In terms of grammatical categories, the first is the princess is singular third person and in nominative case. And the second is touch and fell are past tense verbs. The last is the spindle is singular and in object position. To find these categories I use several parameters like morphological, syntactic, semantic, and functional. For example, touch shows past tense through its morphology, appears after the subject syntactically, and expresses an action semantically. And the next is the phrases and constituents. I take and broke down three sentences into their constituents. The first is the princess touched the spindle, and the complement is the subject. NP plus VP plus object NP. And the second is the Aurora slept in the castle. NP plus VP plus PP. And the last is the prince said that he loved her. It means NP plus VP plus CP. These sentences show how phrases like NP, VP, PP, and CP build larger structures. Using tree diagrams help me visualize how each word fits into the bigger structures. And the next is the constituency test. To prove which parts of the sentence act as units, I applied constituent tests like the substitutions, movements, collapsing, and Q&A. Substitution by replacing phrases with pronouns like she, it, or there, and movements by moving entire phrases to the front. And the next is collapsing to emphasize a particular part of the sentence. And the last is the Q&A, where a constituent can answer a question on its own. For example, from the princess touched the spindle. The princess can be replaced with she. The spindle can move to the front of the sentence. It can also be highlighted using collapsing. For example, it was the spindle that the princess touched. All these tests show that noun phrases and prepositional phrases behave like a single unit in the sentence structure. And next is the reflection and the challenges. This project taught me that syntax is not just theory. It's the structure behind how we speak, read, and write every day. I learned how to analyze words, phrases, and clauses step by step. The most challenging part for me was doing constituency tests and building tree diagrams. At first, it was hard to decide which parts were true constituents, but once I understood the patterns, everything started to make sense. Syntax analysis also helped me understand language more deeply. It shows how meaning depends on structure, not just vocabulary. And the cool thing is, we use these structures every time we tell a story, even a fairy tale like Sleeping Beauty. And yes, so that's a summary of my syntax midterm project. I explore hierarchy, recursion, structure depends, lexical and grammatical categories, constituents, and constituency tests. Understanding syntax helps us understand language at a much deeper level. And yeah, that's all. Thank you so much for your attention, and I hope this gives you a clear and simple overview of what syntax is. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.